Why was there no authority? This is what authority was supposed to do.
That's an abuse of authority.
That's right. Because it's a failure.
Right. What we're against is people abusing their authority.
Yeah.
Right. People abusing or people not living out that call to love that they were given. Right.
That's right. When I think about being a father in a family, there's some like I need my children to have obedience, but if I become a tyrant,
Right.
do what I say or else I'm going to get you, right?
Right.
My kids don't grow
Yeah.
they don't grow in a healthy way, right?
Right.
They need to know that I love them.
And then if we have
care for them.
experience of that kind of abuse in relationship, whether it was at work with someone, a boss, or
a tyrant
at
work, or
even
a tyrant
at home,
that's right.
then that colors the way that you see authority for the rest of your life almost.
Yeah.
If it's not properly healed and understood of a father who loves, of a father who has this authority over us, that he has it though to love. He says, I've come to serve.
Yeah.
And he wants to love us. And so I think that we need to be aware too that that scandal it's like you're saying about the weeds and the wheat, that there are still weeds though.
Yeah.
Even though that Christ came down the cross, sent the Holy Spirit at Pentecost, and has given us the bride of Christ, the church, that we can go and receive graces and knowledge and know the faith and how to live and all that there's still going to be scandal. He talked about careful of the wolves in sheep's clothing, or the wolves in shepherd's clothing.
Right. Or the shepherds who feed themselves on the sheep. That Jesus had lots to say about the Pharisees
Yes.
who tie up heavy burdens
exactly.
on people.
And he said, and then to those who cause the little ones to stumble, he says, better that you tie a millstone hung around your neck and be thrown into the depths of the sea and be drowned. That's like a graphic description of what's going to happen to this person who causes the little one to stumble.
Yeah.
So we got to see that, like, okay, so Christ was warning us, and that's why he said, be innocent as doves, but wise as serpents. We need to be aware that the evil one is out, like as St. Peter talked about, as a roaring lion waiting to devour. Yeah. And so, the shepherds are going to be prime targets, because if you strike the shepherd, the sheep will run.
Scatter. Right.
So, and you can strike the shepherd in many ways. You can martyr the shepherd and make them run, or you can scandalize. You can cause temptation, and the person's spiritual life has fallen, has died.
Right.
And that's another way of causing the sheep to run.
Yeah, I mean, I think another way to say the same thing that's connected to what I was saying about our country and our culture is that Jesus was very clear that tyranny was a thing that we needed to pay attention to, and we needed to oppose, and we needed to, not
stand against it,
not accept the tyrannical, the problem, and we read those like, exactly right. But we're also suspicious that all authority is inherently tyrannical. That's in our culture. That's why we want to divide up powers and this kind of how because the suspicion is all authority is always inherently tyrannical. That's part of that's like the mythological of our understanding. But when we do that, then authority in family, authority in husbands and wives and fathers and children, those things are hard to understand. Yeah. It's hard. It becomes very difficult for us, because what happens just by nature of being human beings, not about being American, nature of being human beings, is that if we love other people, we fall in love with the girl and we, ask for a date and we get one, and then, if everything goes well, right? Eventually I'm a father.
Yeah.
And nobody's elected me, but here I am, and I'm invested with authority. I have charge over these little ones, right? That I have to care for. And this, my wife has a certain charge over me, and I have a responsibility to her and over her together. And I'm not my own person anymore, right? And so I'm invested with authority. And if I haven't really understood that there's a kind of authority that's not tyrannical, but necessary for the peace of the home, then I don't know what to do as a father or as a mother or a father that's raising and caring for a family. I don't know what to do when I become a business leader with employees that I have to try to, on the one hand, get the most from, but on the other hand, not become a tyrant.
That's right.
And to build a healthy work environment and culture in the business that I've run, and all kinds of other ways. There's no undoing authorities. Like, I end up an authority. I mean, I may not be the king of the world. I may not be the president of the United States. But my family, I have to lead. I have to. That's just going to come on.
So it's like another abuse of authority is not embracing.
Is to reject it
right,
entirely.
Right. Another abuse is either to be tyrannical, right?
Yeah.
Or to reject it and not provide that insight.
That's right. That's what we're mad. Like, within the Catholic Church, the thing that makes us angry, I think, is we understand that there are people who have deviant sexual desires and maybe abuse kids, and we hate that. We don't want that to happen. We want to, but the fact that happens, that there's such thing as sin in the world, is something that we understand. What really makes us angry is why did the authority of the church not respond to this? Right?
Why was there silence?
Why is there silence? Or why was there silence? Right? Exactly. Why was there no authority? This is what authority was supposed to do.
That's an abuse of authority.
That's right.
It's
a failure.
Right.
Right. A failure of authority, and so that.
And then we want to do the whole thing. Well, there we go again, and then it's like throwing again. Careful not to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Like, what we're against is people abusing their authority.
Yeah.
Right. People abusing or people not living out that call to love that they were given. Right.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So we struggle to understand culturally, philosophically, and culturally. We struggle to understand what does it really take to be a wise and just leader.
Yeah. That's
a question we don't think about when we study school. Yeah. What does it look like to be a wise and just leader? Because but those are the things that we need to know in order to be prepared to lead families and businesses and those.
I think in a practical, so kind of bringing this into a practical point is that when it comes to all of us, if we realize it, have some kind of authority, right, and that's been given to us, and again, obviously going to Christ, like what is it that Christ teaches us about authority, and like reflecting and growing in that understanding of who someone who embodies and has revealed to us what true authority looks like.
And it's always a servant.
It's a servant, right?
You have to work to get at the bottom.
Right, and what is the goal here? And if the goal is love, and I always go back to the St. Thomas Aquinas' definition, right? To will the good of the other.
Right. Yep.
And so it's going back to that point of like my life to serve, to love, is to lead another closer to God, is to defend their good, to preach that good, to witness that good, to be that love in the world, to at service of that. And so whenever those things are being compromised, of the good, the beautiful, and what is true, I have a right. I have to say something. I have to do something. I have to respond. That is my God-given authority to witness and to preach and to teach and to correct and to reprimand and to do what I need to do to make sure that the true, the good, and the beautiful is not compromised.